Welcome to the Build on Beauty podcast, where beauty is born skin deep. Now, here's your host, author, speaker, entrepreneur, Cornell Jermaine.
Thank you all for joining me today. We have a very special guest. He is no stranger to the show. He was with us on episode 42 on the subject of a look into the business of entertainment. He is back. He is an industry veteran with 40 plus years in the industry of entertainment, a coach, speaker, and author. On his latest book, The Sense of Success, help me welcome Angelo Ellerbee. Angelo, how you doing today?
I am blessed, and I want to thank you for having me back onto your program. Thank you so very much.
No problem. We have to talk about this new book you have out, The Sense of Success. I've been able to read through it, but I do have some things that I do want to ask you about and get you to expound on here.
Sure.
In the beginning of the book, you open it up with talking about a subject I know everyone can relate to, and that's love. You say before you can utter the words, I love whoever, you or someone else, you have to first mention and acknowledge the I long before you cross the bridge of love. Expound on that.
I wake up every morning being very thankful. Then before I go to tell sisters or brothers or anyone else, I tell myself that I'm romantically in love with Angelo Ellerbee. I love me some Angelo. I love Angelo so much is because he's went through so much. He's challenged his opposition. He stands on the shoulder of strength. He believes in him. He can now share love with others. Love is a very special word, not to be used haphazardly, but to be used and conveyed from the heart. What's a second-hand emotion? Well, it's not love. Love is a first-hand emotion. It's something that we all must do, but we cannot do it without doing ourselves initially. First reservations of yourself is you. You get on an airplane. There's turbulence. Your instructors will tell you, before you put the mask on someone else, you got to put it on yourself. You got to understand the importance of self-preservation. Self-preservation begins with you taking care of you, understanding and honoring the man upstairs, and then there's you. That's what I've learned. That's what I convey to each and every single client of mine and each and every single person that I know and that knows me. I tell them each and every day the importance of loving yourself and being in love with yourself, challenging yourself, removing demons from you, taking all the toxics away, and focusing on what needs to be focused on. Your career, but before your career, there's you. The career is just a part of you, and you are the mere essence of your existence. And if you're not loving you, you can obtain none of those other things that we all work so hard for. So, yeah, the book opens up about love because I think that, well, the book was written for everybody. It was written for that drug addict, that incarcerated person, those babies who are being now separated from their mothers and fathers and put in cages, the young artist that wants to, or the older artist that wants to come back and make a comeback. The book says clearly you can do all those things, and you are already winners because the success is inside of you. You just got to find it. So it is the sense of success. We all manifest success, but you got to believe it and you got to claim it.
So true. Now, I want to help our listeners kind of bring clarity because you talked about loving yourself, but I know with this age of internet and social media, some of these young people, they're so self-absorbed and self-involved that it's almost sickening. Help us to define the line between loving yourself and just being just inconsiderate and conceited. Give us some clarity on that, because I want to make sure people know that loving yourself doesn't mean dismissing and thinking only of yourself. Help us clarify that.
Well, first I have to say loving yourself is not to be stuck on yourself. Loving yourself is taking time to understand the trials, the tribulations, how you want to be treated. All those things make up an understanding of what love is. Love is not for you to be selfish enough that you can't share. My whole life is about give back. It's about giving myself to folk. But before I give myself, I have to have an understanding of who I am. Then I can share with you and others the importance of what love is and what love is all about. Love is a sharing game. God shares it with us. We must share it with one another. I don't even get into that. Social media is just what it is, social media. I have never had a cup of instant coffee. I like brewed coffee. I like things that's going to last. I can define and understand what longevity is all about. I don't want something that's going to come and go. And so many of our young people today are looking for the answers in social media. They go and show everything that they can possibly, everything that their mother and father gave them on social media. You come and you go because we all have the same parts, male or female. So you're going to come and you're going to go. But when you put that time in to develop who you really are and what you're really all about, what your career goals are, you won't even go that route. You'll go to the yellow brick road and you'll find the wizard in you.
In your second chapter of your book, you talk about the sense of ambition, and you open up that chapter with an email from, I'm assuming it's a client of yours, an artist, a young artist, who was dealing with a lot, trying to break into the industry, obviously was a talented artist. But you said in your book they were multi-talented, a multi-talented person. And you said these seekers arrive to their career with field and eagerness and seeking information and finding their way. What does one who is multi-talented, how do they embrace this sense of success? What should their process be?
I think being multi-talented is having a thinking pattern, building your team, understanding what friend is all about, taking the word friend and splitting it in the middle and understanding that a friend is going to end. So it's business. It's the business of music. It's the business of life. It's the business of existence. So you have to take your time to understand who you're bringing into your life, who you want into your life. I look at people, my God, forgive me, people come sometimes very toxic. They come with reason and purpose that is not so digestible to that eagerness that you may have and that you may supply to other people. You have to watch out for what demons come in just like a bag of M&M peanuts. They're assorted. Demons can be what you think is your best friend. Demon. A friend, again, and excuse my redundancy, ends. But when you have the self-confidence and the self-will to understand what it's going to be this multi-talented person, you have to select that right team of people, the right manager. I always go through management because management is like marriage. You court, you engage, and then it's marriage. And you pay these people for the rest of your life. That's the marriage of it all. So when you want to really build your empire, you have to be very selective as to who you put into place because these are people who are representing you. And that has nothing just to do with, this is not just dealing with the music industry, this is dealing with life. We have to begin to select who we want in our lives. We can't just put them there because they like me. What's your worth? What's your contribution that you're making to my life? How are you going to make me better? How are you going to make me better in life? So I've become very interested in building the empire that's going to speak volumes and have contributors that's going to contribute to my success, which will make me not just one side, not just two sides, but four sides of the coin.
You cover something also in that same chapter, and I must tell you, when I read it, I laughed out loud because I said, this is Angelo all day. And it clearly said to me that you spoke this, when you wrote this book, you wrote it from your heart. But you talk about ambitiousness versus and I'll let you finish it. Explain to us the difference and where this whole concept came from.
Growing up in the city of Newark, and growing up with people who were in the performing arts, everybody wanted to be a star. And my mother used to say to me, if you take that word and you spell it backwards, that's not what I want you to be. And so many people grow up just wanting to do everything, and that's being ambitious. My mother always wanted me to be ambitious. She wanted me to be focused. She wanted me to stay consistent, and she wanted me to work very, very hard. So the difference for me is being ambitious is what Angelo Ellerbee is. It's what you are. It's not what so many people out here are trying to do, the social media, trying to be this, trying to be that. They're the manager, they're the artist, they're the accountant, they're the bookkeeper. Oh, and then let's just stab that one in the back and stab this one in the back. Let's just get to the – no, that's not the finish. You're not really finishing. You're cheating. The same energy that it takes for you to win or to lose is the same energy it takes for you to win. Why get a C when you can get an A? It's the same energy.
That's so true. Now, there are a couple other points I want to cover because I think they're necessary. You said, and I think we've heard this phrase so many times, but I want to hear the Angelo Ellerbee philosophy behind it. You said a closed mouth is an unfed one. We've heard that so many times.
Sure.
Give us your philosophy on that and what you really feel about as it pertains to that.
I want you and your listeners to be introduced to Eva Ellerbee, which was my mentor, my mom. She used to sit at the head of the table because she was the head of the house, and she would say to us, everybody got to be a contributor in here. And if you don't tell me what it is and why you can't be a contributor or why you're not contributing to this table, we got a problem. If you sit there with your mouth closed and never tell nobody what you want, claim it, she used to say to me. Claim it. It's yours there. It's there for you to have. But you got to claim it. Then you got to work towards it. So if you keep your mouth closed and you go inside of these meetings and you go in school or you go wherever you go to make your dollar and cent and you never say anything, you're never going to get fed the way you want to get fed. I like eating 4 meals a day, not 3 meals a day. I like going out my door and having someone to take me to where I need to go. It's a lifestyle that I'm conditioned to. Why should I change it? I understand the importance of the work ethic of it all. This mouth has to stay open. It has to also, the brain has to get knowledge. At 60 years old, I am still learning.
So good.
My mouth is always going to be open, and it's always going to have something to say and something to provide to the next person. I believe very much in mentoring in everyone. I spoke at a university on Saturday, Long Island University on Saturday, and it was a graduating class. And about 40% of the class, they had to be over 50 and 60 years old. And I looked at them, and I just almost wanted to tear because we're challenged in today's society about being young. And if you don't get your degree at a certain age, these people went through, they explained to me, they went through hell. But they sat there on Saturday graduating. And I hugged them, and I kissed them, and I hugged them, and I kissed them. And as I signed every single book, I personalized it because they all told me their story. They were telling me their life stories. So you ain't never too old to win. And it's not about, look, it's important that you stay in the race. If you stay in the race, eventually you got to win. Giving up is what? Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Okay, so you put all the pieces all back together and get up and do it all over again.
Wow.
That's real.
That leads me to my next question, because you mentioned about a closed mouth doesn't get fed, but oftentimes we find people, especially really creative people, they have a hard time sharing their dream because they're afraid someone is going to take it or misuse it or abuse it. On this next quote, you said, "Follow your gut and let common sense tag along." I think that's so poignant to this question that I'm asking. How do you trust in this whole quest for success? How do you know your gut and know how to bring common sense and balance the two?
Let me say this to you. I go by that intuition. I'm a believer in the man upstairs, and I believe that he will not allow me to make mistakes. And if it seems like it's a mistake, it's not. It's a learning pattern. But I'm going to do it. You're not going to do it. Back in '87, I filed bankruptcy. And I remember calling my mother saying, "Ma, I got to move from here to here." So she said, "Where did you begin?" And I said, "In the basement of the house." She said, "Okay, so you can get it again, right?" But she asked me the poignant question, "Did you learn from it? Did you learn from it?" I said, "Yeah, Ma, I learned from it." She said, "What did you learn?" I said, "I learned my mistakes. I went to who to trust, who not to trust. Da-da-da-da." She said, "So long as you learn from it, you can pick yourself back up and understand that you won't make the same mistakes again." But on my tuition, I'm not going to ever become accusatory and blame it on somebody else. And what you can't steal from you can't take from the original. I'm the original. You want a copy? Then go for the copy. But this is what you're going to get your victory from is the original, and that's what's in my mind. So it doesn't matter to me I've had more employees than the Empire State Building has steps because they believe that they can do me. You can't do me. And I'm not being braggadocious. I'm just being real. What I have, nobody else can have. And you can take from me, you can learn from me, but I possess this. Trust, I trust in Jesus. I trust in the man upstairs. The word friend, split it in the middle, and you're going to get what? In. That's my reality to it all. Not being braggadocious. Just convinced that in order for me to maintain in this business that I have to trust in somebody I got to trust, right? I trust them upstairs. And if I make a mistake, it's my mistake. And that's from past experiences when I began in this business. When I began in this business, that was the reality for me. Oh, I trusted everybody. Oh, he was good. This one is good. And they was all up in there kindling up all the ingredients how to take my business. I hope I answered the question.
You did. What's your definition of success? At the end of the day, how do you define it?
Can't tell you. I'm still working towards it. And I think it's in me. I possess it. I'm still working for it. And I'm working towards it. But I ain't there yet. And I think success is all in you. It's how you go to define it. Is success money? Is it home? Is it family? What is it? And I'm still figuring it out.
And so I think that's kind of a good place to be in because it keeps you, like you just said, trusting in the man upstairs, trusting in the one who created you, you know?
Yeah, very much.
Wow. As it pertains to the book, The Sense of Success, you've worked with so many artists from, oh my gosh, Michael, Mary, from old school to new school. Who have embodied the philosophy of the sense of success? As you look back on your career, what artists would you say has really embodied that?
Mary J. Blige. And why? I got Mary when she was raw. You couldn't be no rawer than Mary was when I got her back in the early 90s. And to see her stand today, being nominated for a movie as an actress, seeing her be this orator, this intellectual orator, this proud black woman standing there talking. This was not the Mary J. Blige that sat at 846 7th Avenue. She was the one that would say, Angela, I would take videos out of her and show her doing interviews. She's, Angela, please don't. And we would watch them, and we would read. We would read the Bible. We would read books. We would do all of those things. So to see her today, oh, yes. One of the most proudest moments of my life is to see her, to get on that television or to get at that movie theater and see this girl deliver. So what I do is not a cup of instant coffee. It's brewed coffee. It's longevity. It lasts and it lingers. And so, yeah, Mary would be the most proudest example of my work. Who am I romantically in love with? Dionne Warwick.
Yes.
Who do I give a lot of my credit to? James M. May. Who do I worship? The man upstairs.
Such a blessing. Before we get out of here, give our listeners some daily practices that you believe will help them in this quest to success.
This is what I do every day. I get up in the morning and I light about 7 candles, and I put them through my apartment. And in my bedroom, there's a glass wall that I can see out. I live right over the Hudson River, and I have conversation with God. I pray, but I really talk to him for 45 minutes. And I ask him to fix things in my life, to make me a better person, to forgive me for my trials and my tribulations, forgive me for cussing somebody out, forgive me for doing whatever I've done wrong. Take my hands, my arms, my heart, my mind, my body, and my soul today and lead me. Talk for me and walk with me and be with me. More importantly, just be with me. Let me know that you're there. When I know that you're there, I know that I can go anywhere. And then I can go to work. Then I can have conversations, intellectual conversations. Then I can be a person that is going to be a provider of wisdom. I'm going to be sensitive, and I'm going to be caring. I'm going to be understanding. I'm going to be a businessman. I'm not going to win a popularity contest, but I'm going to state my purpose. So I say to them, take time for yourself. If I'm not nobody's born again Christian, but take time for yourself. If it's yoga, if it's exercising, but spending time with you and making you a better person.
Wow. Very good. I want to encourage our listeners to go out and get the book, The Sense of Success by Angelo Ellerbee. Angelo, tell us where we can get it.
Well, the book is being sold through Amazon. If they're looking for the candle line is being sold at www.ellerbeeelegance.com. That's ellerbeeelegance.com. That's for the candles.
Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you joining me here. And I have nothing but the best for you, and not only the book and the candle line, but everything else that you got going on, which we couldn't cover here. But you're a busy man, and I want to let you get back to what you do best, and that's help people be great. So I thank you for joining me.
No, thank you, and thank your listeners.
This has been the Build on Beauty podcast, where beauty is born skin deep. I'm your host, Cornell Jermaine. Until next time, let your soul be made whole. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Build on Beauty podcast. For more information about our host, please visit cornelljermaine.com.